Dropped it.
I'm just saying. I don't know, man. Heat it. Heat it, you.
You're being a little bit. You're being a little bitch. Welcome back to the Maximum Chillage Podcast. I believe this is season 2, episode 7. It's November 6th. I'm Tree Sanchez. With me, as always,
I'm Tiki Mike.
Tiki Mike is pissed right now. He's fuming.
Won't talk about what subject we were arguing about, but it lasted almost an hour.
It did almost, and we decided that it wasn't Maximum Chillage.
It wasn't chilling.
We were arguing. We literally talked about it in the beginning of the episode that stuff is not chillage.
What?
That politics are not chillage.
Yeah, but this wasn't about politics.
A little bit. Well,
I don't want to go into it. I won't go into it.
It was Halloween last week.
Yeah.
Bitter. It was your sister's wedding.
Yeah.
How blotto did you get at that thing?
You know, surprisingly, I didn't seem to be that drunk at the wedding. It wasn't until like I was
one of those things where
cleaning
they put fucking really bad wine in the margarita machine, where they had margarita margs.
No, man. Actually, so
one time Mike and I were in the same wedding, and they had wine margaritas. We were trying really hard to get smashed.
It was not happening.
It wasn't fucking working.
We were more smashed before the wedding started, and that was when we had liquor in the. Honestly, I don't even know if we finished the liquor that we had available to us, but
we drank a lot of it.
I feel like we did, and I had a good level before that wedding started, but yeah. Yeah, not.
So at your sister's wedding, I was expecting you to get shit face.
I mean, I got righteously drunk.
You stayed in the hotel.
Yeah, but that was going to be a plan anyways. That was actually so that I didn't have to drive home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had a lot of wine because there was wine available.
You a wine fan?
When I'm trying to get drunk and it's available for free.
Give you a headache?
Always.
I hate it.
Yeah. And
like
I don't even really drink wine. And I don't know if I brought this up completely on the show.
Red or white wine?
Huh?
Red or white?
I was mixing.
I've never heard of that.
I had a Chardonnay.
No, okay.
So I wasn't mixing them together. Okay. No, I'm saying separately. Might have used the same glass, but not together.
I thought you were
poured
mixing
together.
Whites and reds.
Nah, man. There was a red Zinfandel, which usually Zinfandels are whites.
Dude, I have no idea.
A red Zinfandel, rosé, and a Chardonnay, which is a white wine.
Yeah.
I had all of those.
Are these all fancy wines, or are these all kind of cheap?
This brand, Double Dog Dare, I think is what it's called, or something like that, or Double Dare, or Double Dog, I don't know, some kind of variation of that. My sister and brother-in-law now, Doug. Shout out, Doug.
You know what's kind of weird?
What's that?
My sister's been with a guy for a while.
Yeah.
His name's Doug.
Oh, yeah?
So we might both have brother-in-laws named Doug.
That'd be interesting.
That's kind of interesting.
How long have they been together?
Few years.
I didn't realize how long my sister and this guy had been together. Like, I knew it was at least like 6 years.
6, okay.
8.
It's been a long time.
8 years.
I think it's just flown by.
That's it flew by. And I mean, also, we didn't know that they were together for like the first 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
And he's only been coming around on Christmas and Thanksgiving for like the past 4 years. But yeah, Doug's a hella cool guy. I really actually do like that guy. I know people like kind of fake pretend sometimes that they like, their brother-in-laws and stuff like that.
I love my Doug. He's a good kid. The poor kid. He perspires a lot, so he had to get like his.
Oh, he had to get those shots?
He had to get it like burned off.
Oh,
I felt so bad for him.
I know some people get certain kinds of injections that like keep them from perspiring. Or they take medication for that.
He had to like get them burned off from his armpits.
That's intense, man.
And usually I wouldn't care about that. I'd be like, oh, big deal, but it's Doug. And I'm like, fuck, poor Doug.
Yeah, man.
I want the best for him. Something about names. To me, there's something about names that all people with the same name
have a certain personality trait.
Maybe Doug's just a great guy. Maybe Doug.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some shithead Dougs. I could see there being some shithead Dougs out there.
Maybe. I've never met one.
No, I can't. Well, I haven't met too many people named Doug for one.
And when I have, they're great people.
Also, does he go by Douglas?
No, just Doug.
Is he named Douglas?
I think so.
Yeah, same. This guy doesn't really go by Douglas.
I don't think. Yeah.
I don't think anybody named Douglas goes by Douglas.
Too proper.
Yeah.
Go ahead with the wine though.
Oh, okay. So I didn't take advantage of the 1 hour open bar that was there. They only had 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yeah, that's it, man. You got to get those. And dude, they ranked up a bill. Let me tell
How much was it
you.
for that 1 hour?
It was like $1,500, dude. That's not that crazy.
That bad.
It's not that
as
crazy.
bad as I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, there was still wine being provided as much as you wanted, pretty much, because there were cases left over. And but a lot of my family doesn't drink wine, you know. So you know, it was lost on some of them. Some of them took advantage of it like they should have, you know, like. And also, so my sister and her husband got the wine from this brand up in the Bay Area, and they had cases of it, and I still have cases, man. So, you know, if anybody's a wine drinker, selling them, you know, at a very cheap price.
Is it good?
It was, I don't know, man. That's the thing. I don't know about nuances of wine. It's
I'll
lost on me.
Can I have
I
some
don't
of those?
know about oaky barrel tastes. I mean, I do, I guess, when it translates to beer. I don't know how
wines do that.
Wines do that all the time. I hear people talk about,
Really?
and they pair them with specific meats or cheeses or fish. Which one is supposed to be served with that?
It literally tastes like sour.
No,
to me.
well, I mean, which wines are you drinking?
White ones.
White ones?
Yeah.
Which white ones?
I don't know.
Again,
because
you know, you think that they're all the same, but a white Zinfandel and a white Chardonnay is completely different, and one is served chilled and one is not. Like, I mean,
I don't want anything that's warm. That's for fucking sure.
Hey man, a couple drinks in, it doesn't even fucking matter anymore. It all starts to taste the same.
You know what? I still have that. Speaking of alcohol, I still have that Virginia
Black. The same episode where we mocked our friend for having the same bottle of Gentleman's Jack.
So I was like, you know what? It's time for me to just finish this thing. So I went out and bought some round ice cubes, a round ice cube mold. Got it at Save Mart for $4 because the guy didn't know what the price was. So he's like, I'll charge you $4.
I mean, that's a good ice cube because it does not melt into your drink.
No, it doesn't. So I got myself, and I went, and I was like, I need a whiskey glass now. So I went down to this thrift store that I know has a lot of glasses.
I could have got you whiskey glasses. I got those. By the way, I have a lot of leftover wine glasses, some that weren't even used.
Stemless or with stems?
Stems.
Okay.
So if people need some discount wine glasses, I got a surplus in my garage right now. Surplus of that, surplus of wine, good quality wine at a discount price. Nobody can beat Tiki Mike's wine. Tiki Mike's punchy wine. You drink it enough, you get punchy. And yeah, man, you know.
How much you want for that wine?
I don't know.
Because it's November. We're going to get to that.
Yeah, what does that have to do with wine?
I got to start getting gifts, dude.
Oh,
Nothing's
yeah.
better than a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine.
Shuts people up real quick.
And they're like, ooh, double dog dare. What is this? Interesting. Yeah, man. But they actually got them at a pretty decent price.
Okay. And they left them with you? They didn't decide to take them home?
They took a case or two home. But
not that much, huh?
Well, I mean, there's only like... Actually, are there 12 bottles in a case or 6? I don't remember. I think there might be... No, I think there's only 6 bottles in a case, and I honestly only have like maybe about 8 cases. So 6 times 8, 48. Got that could pay for my Christmas gifts to people if I sell all of these. But also, they wanted some to be staying here, so when they come and visit,
those are gonna be
we'll
gone.
have those wines. Yeah, I mean, if I develop alcohol problem, those will be gone.
Have you ever decided that you want to get high at home and drink a bottle of wine?
Oh, no.
Is that fancy? Is that a fancy thing to do?
No, I mean, I've been...
Because wine, deceptively, you can drink the whole bottle. Like, I used to hear people say, I drink the whole bottle. I'm like, that can't be good for your liver.
I mean, it's easy to drink because it's not that many ounces, but it is a high percentage. Most of them are 12 to 14%, 12, 15%. It's a high alcohol drink. I don't know, a whole bottle. I mean, one time I was at a wedding, cousin's wedding, and it was at a local winery out in, not West Fresno. I don't know, man. But it was out in
wedding
Vineyard
season
area.
Right now?
I think I don't know.
Or
I don't
just
know.
never
Is there a
goes
wedding
away.
season?
I think spring maybe.
I don't know. Yeah. I think it's just not done in the winter so much. I think summer weddings and
Little technical difficulties there. But we were talking about the wedding season. I wasn't sure if it was wedding season right now or not.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I think the only time that's not wedding season, of course they occur during this
Maybe
time, but mostly
December?
people avoid
You
winter
can't do it in
festivities
November.
because it's just so fucking busy, man. It's just so fucking busy end of November
Wouldn't it-
to January.
Let's get to that right now.
All right.
It's November.
Yeah.
As soon as November hit, I saw on Twitter that there's this huge real people are either yes or no on this. Do you start celebrating Christmas now, or do you wait till after Thanksgiving? A lot of people want to start things right after November 1st starts. It's Christmas season to them. You have a preference?
Well, you know, when I used to work at Jamba Juice, as soon as November 1st came around, we were prompted to put in our Christmas CDs.
Ooh, really?
And so from November
I haven't heard any of that
1st all the way to probably even the first week of January, we had Christmas music. And luckily, I had been there a number of years that we had multiple CDs. Even though some songs reappeared, at least sometimes there was some sort of variation. And yeah. I mean, other than that summertime sadness song being absent from the Christmas playlist, should we even talk about Christmas playlists, or should we wait for December
We'll
on
wait
that?
for that, but we're just talking about, like, are you in right now or are you out?
I'm in for it.
You're
now,
in.
Now that I don't have to work at a place that's constantly playing and berating me with the music
I feel
all
like there's
day.
not enough time in December to celebrate it on the first day.
Yeah, I got to get it in
It's
now,
over.
man. As soon as it starts getting chilly at night, that's when I'm celebrating the fucking
Yeah,
Christmas.
'cause it doesn't
man.
snow here. It's not like we're going to wait till it snows or something.
Yeah.
It doesn't get that cold. But there's just people who are like, no, like Katie's one of those people. You have to wait till December 1st. And honestly, as soon as... so October, November, December for me are hard months for money. October comes through, and I spend a lot of money at the fair. And as soon as I recoup, I spend a lot of money on Halloween. And then as soon as I recoup, there's a lot of money spent on buying Christmas gifts. So I got to start now. I always tell myself I'm going to start in August. Did I? Yeah, I bought a couple, but I didn't buy them all. And now I'm starting to think, am I going to get anybody anything? And if so, what are they going to get? Because last year, if you listen to the Christmas special last year, I balled out. I balled out and bought people fucking everything. I spent a G plus on shit to buy people. And this year, I was looking up 10 Amazon gifts you can get for under $5. So, if you can give me some of that wine.
Do we? Yeah, we did talk about the wine, right? I can't remember which part we deleted because of my technical difficulty.
Oh, you were talking about wedding season.
I did talk. Okay, yeah.
We only deleted
man.
about 5 seconds.
I'll get you. Did we?
Yeah.
But I've been zoned out, man. I've been zoned out since about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I think that's when it started happening. But yeah, man, I'll get you some bottles of wine. Again, you gotta let me know. I mean, it's all the same to you, but you gotta learn the preferences of these people.
I know what color they like.
White?
Red and white.
Do you know which one? I mean, here's the thing: are they serious wine drinkers though?
Nah, they like to think they are, but they're not.
Okay, so I mean,
They
but
don't know.
rosés and white red Zinfandels are completely different.
I don't care what they
To
like.
them.
That's what I'm getting them.
All right.
When it comes to that kind of shit, I don't
Alright,
give
man.
a fuck what I'm getting them. That's what they're getting.
Yeah, man.
I-
I'll get you a couple bottles of wine.
I need some- I need-
got enough to go around
I
right
need
now.
2 reds and a white. Actually, Katie's not going to get that. She's already going to listen to this. I just need 2 reds. One for her mom and one for her sister, because I don't want to buy them. Shit. I don't know if her sister listens to this.
I mean, you got to put a little package together with. You can't just give them one bottle of wine.
Why not?
Because even if that's a great bottle of wine, well, what did it cost you? Like 12 to 15? I guess that's okay.
They don't really know how much it costs me.
I'm just saying, like, this bottle of wine's not that price. Like, I mean, this bottle of wine's cheaper
It's not
than
like
that.
I'm buying them the
I don't know what
$2
their.
Chuck,
I don't know
you
what it was in market. I mean, they bought these in a wholesale amount from the dealer
Do
guy.
people really think about the price when they get it, though? I feel like they don't.
You don't think so?
Not when I get gifts, I don't think
guess
about the
not.
price.
I know.
Not-
I mean, I don't think about the price.
not
but
right
it's
away.
like- not right away. No.
I like maybe like when I'm getting hard up for cash and it's still in the box. I'm like, how much can I return that for?
Have you done that?
Yeah,
Oh man.
I used to do that all the time. I would wait till Christmas Day, get the stuff, and then my dad would take me to, because we live in a small town.
Yeah.
Everybody bought their gifts from the same place, at least from my family. Everybody bought them from Kmart.
Yeah.
So when they would give me my gifts, I'd be like, all right, I'm ready. And he would take me to Kmart with all my shit so I can return it for store credit.
To buy what you really wanted.
To buy what I wanted. One year, that was a Tamagotchi.
Tamagotchi.
I really wanted that.
I never got a Tamagotchi. I think I got whatever off-brand was mimicking the Tamagotchi. I had a little pet dinosaur.
Ooh, yeah.
It was a T-Rex
Those were the
guy.
same. It was still... Is it Hitachi that made these? The same brand
I
that
don't know.
makes the vibrators for women?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
A
So
Hitachi wand.
I don't know
If
what a
there's any women
Hitachi
listening
wand
to
is.
this podcast, they know exactly what a Hitachi wand is.
This is the thing that is actually a vibrator that most people pretend is not a vibrator.
It's a
They pretend it's a
massager,
massager.
yeah.
The wand thing. Okay, I know
Yep.
what you're talking about. I do know what you're talking about. I didn't know its brand name. I actually assumed that there was 1,000 brands of that. I didn't know there was one specific brand that was the wand.
Nano Pet, is that what you had?
Maybe. I think that was it. Yeah. There was a green one.
Yeah.
And it had a little T-Rex guy, and every time I stopped paying attention to him...
He pooped.
He would... no, because he had to clean the poop, but he would have a knapsack, and he would march away.
It's kind of just like Michael.
Yeah, well, that happened.
You don't pay attention to him,
Disappeared.
he'll disappear. That's happened.
kind of like
I wish we had the
Tegan and Sarah.
Honestly, I really wish we had the podcast back then.
I'm not unfaithful, but I will stray.
If we had the podcast back when Michael disappeared on me, it'd be like, this is week 3 that I haven't heard from Mike. So I don't know if he's going to be back on this podcast. His phone's off perpetually. Sometimes it'll be on, and he'll answer and hang up immediately.
Well, no, it was only on to check voicemails, but people would call
Yeah.
while I was checking the voicemails, which freaked me the fuck out because it was like, are they
is-
constantly calling?
this is week
Because it's
4.
only on.
Of Michael being
No,
missing.
I was only missing for like 3 weeks.
I went to Michael's parents' house today and asked them if they knew where he was.
Michael's parents came to my house asking where he was.
That happened.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to say that, but I was like, am I exaggerating? Did I go to their house? But they really did come
No,
here, right?
I think you and Miguel went to my house
Yeah.
and they said we don't know where he is.
I
I mean,
wish
really,
we could go back in time.
we exaggerated. It was honestly like 2 weeks,
Oh, it was a long time.
2.5.
It was a long time.
It was- I honestly think it was like 14 days at the max. I think it was 12. It wasn't that long.
Tiki Mike goes missing. That's the name of this episode.
No, I mean they'll just think that I'm not here on the episode if they hear Tiki Mike goes missing.
We're gonna get back to the November thing.
Yeah.
So, are you big on? What do you like? Are you big on Thanksgiving at all? Do you just
Nah.
dismiss it?
I don't dismiss it. I mean, I don't really celebrate it necessarily. I mean, I
You know what I liked it
don't-
for?
What's that?
The day off.
The day off?
That's all I liked it for.
Because it's in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And sometimes they give you Friday
And
off
the
too. Yeah.
Before I had when I worked retail jobs,
Yeah.
they made me work on those Fridays, and that always sucked because you'd have that day off.
Oh.
Sometimes I wouldn't. Sometimes I worked jobs where you had to work in the morning of Thanksgiving because that's one of their busy days, aka fuck Starbucks. I'd have
Well-
to work Starbucks mornings.
I'm in retail, so Black Friday is not a day off for me. So it's a busy day. I think we've had like
But you know what? I used to get off on that though.
what, Black Fridays?
Working on Black Fridays. I
Get
loved
off on it?
I used to love it.
Why?
I liked it. I don't know. I like the hustle and bustle. It got me in the mood for Christmas.
Ooh.
I love going to
So
busy stores.
consumerism is essential
yeah.
for you in Christmas?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know about-
did we lose the meaning
Honestly,
of the tested time Christmas tale of Jingle All the Way?
yeah, I think so. When fucking Target started opening at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving.
Hey, did that kid actually get Turbo Man at
Yeah.
the end?
Yeah.
So in a way, it was about consumerism being a positive thing.
Yeah, he got the toy.
Oh man.
He got a gold version of it.
They missed a golden opportunity to teach about the Ebenezer Scrooge tale of Christmas, but they didn't. Yeah.
Sinbad fucked it all up.
Sinbad. Was he a mailman in that movie?
Can we have a whole episode devoted to Jingle All the Way?
Well,
I don't know how we would do it.
No,
I
here's the
was
thing.
thinking about it. I've always wanted to devote one episode to one thing, but how would we? Do we break it down first?
Here's
a little more technical difficulties there. Mike's getting too. He's getting too crazy.
I'm getting sloppy, and I'm not even drinking.
I'm
not high. I'm not drinking.
You're hitting the microphone.
You know.
To be fair, Mike's microphone, although I do believe sounds better. I always am jealous when in post production when I hear his voice as compared to mine. It's very finicky.
You always talk shit on this microphone, saying that I got the cheapest microphone. There, we could go back to episodes.
Let it be known that I like the way that your microphone sounds.
Man. I don't know about your fickle nature, Chewy.
I really like the way that thing sounds.
Anyways, we were talking about
Jingle
the great
All the Way and
Sinbad.
doing a whole episode on it.
Here, I don't think we can do a whole episode on Jingle All the Way, but, we're talking about Sinbad. We're talking about early, late 90s comedians. And, we've always talked about what is the essence of this podcast and how we can niche down. I think we're a comedy podcast.
The Tim Allen podcast.
No, I think we're a comedy podcast. I think a lot of our subjects that we reminisce on is always nostalgia from the 90s. Mm-hmm. I mean, our patron saint has always been fucking, the Weasel,
Yeah.
I think we've always been, about the Weasel. We've always been about Paul Rubens. We've always been about, for the lesser cultured people, Paul Rubens is Pee Wee Herman.
Yep.
We've always been about Sinbad.
You're right.
and the 90s and the essence of 90s and TV culture.
I wonder the people what they want.
I'm
if
just
this
saying,
is what they want, then I would love to do it.
Look, I'm just saying.
Honestly, people love nostalgia.
In a way, we're about nostalgia and entertainment in general. And, maybe we have an episode that discusses that more in depth, that cements what kind of podcast this actually is. Because, honestly, I don't know what to tell people. I told two people a couple weeks ago about it at the very end of a conversation. They said, oh, yeah, I love podcasts. What kind of podcast is it? And I was like,
I just say pop culture.
Talk shit. I didn't know what to say. Like, I
already got it. It's in my head. I figured it out.
What's that?
So you're getting your new place soon.
Yeah.
You're gonna have an actual place. I'm assuming you're a guy you're a man of leisure.
Yeah.
I would assume that you would have nothing
I always
less.
wanted a 1970s leisure suit, which I had a top shirt for, but it's not completed without the matching pants.
I would assume you would have nothing less than a 50-inch TV. Am I wrong?
Who, me?
Yeah. Is that what you're gonna get in the house?
I mean, I kind of
ultimately
have
what
my
size?
I have my eye on a TV, but at my work,
what size is it?
It's just a 50-inch. It's
Yeah,
not,
no,
it's
that's
not
good.
like,
That's
it's not
right.
Crazy.
I was
just
right.
Like, yeah, I mean, do I?
You have a sound system on that guy?
Okay, there's a sound bar that I have. It's marked down right now.
Yeah.
But I'm also waiting to see what kind of winter deals come in.
I'm liking
it.
Let me just get to this.
Also, because the TV that I wanted went up in price recently, and I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, it's only like $10, but I'm waiting to see what winter deals they got.
What if it's a Black Friday deal?
If it's a Black Friday deal, it's going to be hard because I'm working. But, maybe one of my coworkers will let me charge it before, the lines even start.
Is your TV over or under $1,000?
Oh, it's under.
Way under?
Way under.
Oh. Anyway.
Yeah, man. It's not. I mean, you got to be getting 65 inches and up.
I saw some 50 inches that were like really expensive there.
I don't know where you're shopping.
Costco.
You gotta shop right.
Oh, that Costco.
Which one?
It was
You're
a really
talking about
nice one.
Those really nice ones?
Yeah, the really nice ones.
Oh, those are beautiful, dude. I mean, I could never afford them. You're talking about like those
the
$2,000 ones.
Yeah.
The color on that.
They
dude,
really are great.
It's just fucking next level. I mean, here's the thing. I got to wait another 5 years before that becomes the standard. That's going to be the standard in 5 years.
You remember Best Buy used to have this room that had a entertainment room?
Chair? Yeah, they still have that.
Not this one.
Which one?
Not our Best Buy.
You go to the Best Buy on Herndon.
Oh.
It's got the home entertainment thing.
No. This used to be a whole room, man.
Yeah, it's a room. You go and sit. They have a chair for you. They have the surround sound. They have the TV in there. It looks like a room that would be in a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. It's carpeted even, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, no, they have that on the Herndon one.
I've always wanted a nice little theater setup. But so for this little special of podcast we're going to do, we're going to sit ourselves in front of your nice TV with the sound bar.
Well, 50 inch is not a nice one anymore. Now
okay.
people are like,
let me finish.
They got to get a 75-inch TV, man.
We're gonna set ourselves on the couch. We're gonna set We're gonna set up our mics to be right in front of us as we watch Jingle All the Way, and we can just commentate on this movie.
Okay, well, it's not going to be a podcast. It's just going to be a live. It's going to be a Shia LaBeouf live viewing, is what it is.
We're gonna be avant-garde. We'll take this to places that podcasts have never gone.
I mean, hey, are we going to say Jingle All the Way is our favorite holiday movie though?
No, we're going to do other ones.
Ooh, okay.
We're going to go all out for this.
Ooh,
we'll have a
12-hour viewing.
I heard somewhere that nothing less than a 12-hour podcast is acceptable.
Hey, you know that person. Actually, shout out to you, my man. He actually listens and comments to me a lot about how we're doing on this, and Gabe, I appreciate it.
Gabe sends me some texts sometimes that I just don't reply to, not on purpose. Just I'm not a good texter.
Yeah,
I have like 4 that I'm looking at right now that I'm just not going to text back. 2 of them,
but that's a conscious decision or an unconscious. I mean, like
things give me anxiety. Opening mail gives me anxiety.
Does it?
Yeah. Opening texts gives me anxiety. Because people are asking things of me. Somebody's asking me if I'm going to the gym tomorrow morning. I don't know how I'm going to feel after this podcast. I don't know how tired I'm going to be. I don't know if I have any clean underwear. I can't answer that right now. I'm not in the right state of mind to answer that question. I can't say yes or no. Maybe I want to. Maybe I don't. And it's giving me anxiety thinking about that text just being in there. Because I'm thinking about what that person's thinking. Like, oh, this guy's a fucking flake. He's just sitting at home with the phone face down.
You know what? I hate this because I exhibited all of this same behavior before when you were about hitting me up all the time. And you would chastise me for having the same behavior you're describing.
You get older, dude. You grew up before me.
Is it growing up? It's growing weird, dude, in a sense. I was
still out on my BMX bike. Cruising around the town. I don't know what time of year I don't know what time you're referring to. You have a text right there, and it's giving me.
It's not anxiety. A text. It's another person asking, giving an address to our.
Shout out
DM.
to everybody who wanted a sticker when we posted it online, but when we posted it on the podcast where you're supposed to listen to, nobody except for one person.
And I still haven't gotten it, but he's getting the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Hey, Joe,
you're getting your fucking. You're gonna get a.
In fact, you
get 3.
You get it. Actually, there is 3 in there.
You're gonna get 4.
You get extras. Everybody gets 2.
The stack just got 10
more.
feet higher.
Yeah, man. I appreciate the support from all the people that are listening.
Yeah, I like it.
And again,
if you're actually listening,
I do wish that more people hit us up from the podcast.
I really do. Shout out to Joe for being the only one. Because that was deep in the podcast too, wasn't it? Or was it in the beginning?
I don't remember. I remember getting a DM, but I don't know if that was because I had posted pictures that I got stickers, or if that was from the podcast.
What are you sending them?
I know 2 other
stickers
people.
And letters?
I'm going to be sending little handwritten letters.
It'd be cool if you went real niche and wrote it on one of those typewriters that I know you have.
Oh, I don't have a typewriter anymore. I used to have a typewriter, and it disappeared. I don't know where that thing went. I have a suspicion that a sketchy cousin took it from my grandma's house.
What do you want with it?
To do something like that. That would be dope if we had that. You just described a perfect event that a typewriter
your sketchy cousin is doing that?
No. Oh, why did he have it? No, so he could sell it to some niche fuck who's going by like RH Sin or some bullshit.
I got a lot of them.
I got
a lot of typewriters. You can have one.
Did he sell it to you, you son of a bitch? Were you the one that stole my typewriter?
No, I would just have a lot of them.
I need to see some of these. See if any of these look familiar.
My dad's a little bit of a collector. When I say collector, I say a hoarder.
Oh, yeah, I know that game.
Fucking buy them.
The Steinhauers know the hoarding game.
Dude, that's bad. It's a bad tendency to have. I'm trying.
It's a mental illness that I'm sure is not... I'm sure that it's associated with some certain mental illnesses. I don't think there's a mental illness on its own. I think it's it's definitely a behavior that people with a certain mental illness exhibit. Maybe anxiety. Yeah. Anxiety, it makes you feel somehow like a fucking pack rat
Yeah.
packs its shit in to feel secure.
Despite all of my stuff that I have, I don't like any of it. I just don't know how to get rid of it.
Well, most of it is...
It's collectibles.
I mean, I'm looking around the room. I mean, it's not like you can't walk anywhere. I mean, you can walk around. I mean, it's not like...
It's clear.
A lot of it's just hanging on walls, mostly. Or stickers on the door. Or
those are from when I was a kid.
Things on a shelf. I mean, mostly these things are put into place. I mean, even your guitar collection has a stand for all of them.
Pretty beautiful.
A lot of people don't have a stand for every guitar they own.
No. That didn't come till way later in life, though.
Yeah, but I mean, that was because you had money of your own to afford things now. But I mean, all your DVDs are in one spot. They're not in, all over the room or something.
My record collection is all in one spot.
I mean, the only thing that's disorganized is what's under your bed.
I don't want this. I don't want to talk about that. That
places
stuff is
where
the stuff
the wee folk can hide.
That's the stuff that I don't like. I don't even want it there.
I see some Tim-looking Vans.
Yeah, they're Vans.
But, I mean, they look like Timberlands.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Tim Gomez. I was like, yes, those would be some Vans that Tim Gomez would wear.
You think Tim would wear those?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Tim is a classy dude. I don't know. I think he's too classy for this.
So I think for Christmas, I do want to do that, though. I really do want to do
we'll
this.
have a
viewing thing. Maybe we can do it like all my movies where we actually... We're coming up on a really good opportunity for this podcast of getting our own spot. Mike's gonna have his own house. We're gonna have, correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna have a room dedicated to this, right?
I mean, if you mean the living room.
I mean, I'm down, but there's a multiple room house.
Garage.
That's good too.
And when we say multiple rooms, there's 2 rooms.
Well, you only need one of those. What do you do with the other one? Oh, you're gonna rent it out?
Maybe. Possibly.
Why don't you not rent it out and just use it as a studio room?
Studio room.
That'd be great.
For this?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not big enough. The living room would be better suited for it.
All right.
To be grandiose.
We need a 65-inch TV.
Probably.
The TV just got 10 inches bigger.
I'll see 15. We'll see what kind of holiday deals come out. Or if anybody wants to be a sponsor of this podcast and just give me their old 65-inch TV. Yeah, I'll even throw in a good $20 towards it. Take it off your hands for you. Anyways, you could be a sponsor of this podcast and just give us shit.
We have people that want to be sponsors of this podcast.
Well, I mean,
Kapow, shout out to Kapow.
Yeah,
we've been in contact with some people who may or may not be involved in the cartel.
I don't know anything about that, so
I don't either.
I don't want to be on the record of saying anything like that.
For my own safety, I don't know anything. That was a joke. You got anything else? What did you bring to the table?
The pirate.
Today?
What was that guy's name? If anybody has taught us anything, you don't joke about cartel. What was that drunk Mexican guy's name?
Oh yeah,
poor guy.
Yeah,
good little drinker guy.
I forget his name. But yes.
He was the pirate.
El Pirata de Culiacan.
Yeah.
Look up the El Pirata de Culiacan.
Just don't look up his shooting death video or pictures.
So there's a guy.
It's very sad.
Who he was really poor, grew up poor, got fame on Instagram by being an idiot.
I mean, most people either saw the meme form where it just shows him hella downing the bottle, and then the next video of him like drunkenly asleep standing up. But if you saw the whole video, it was good too.
So this guy, he gets fame. He starts getting a lot of followers. He actually comes up on a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Then
he was sponsored to show up at clubs and stuff.
And then he decides to talk shit on the cartel, on a member of the cartel, saying that they ain't shit, this and that. He ends up getting shot and killed.
With, I think, a couple other people in the crossfire.
His fame was like a month.
And also, I mean, the guy was always posting exactly where his location was. I mean, giving them all the information that they needed to say, he's at this club right now. And poor guy.
He's a good guy.
At least he got some taste of the good life right before.
Right. I mean, even though that his fame only lasted a month.
I want to say it was almost a year.
Maybe a year. Great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll never have that.
He's
dead. Even though he's dead,
I will
he's
never
still got
do
the good life.
The amount of drugs and have as amount of good times as that guy did.
Nope.
You know.
Nope. And it's sad.
No.
Unless...
It's a bitter sweetness.
Yeah? You don't think you want that?
No.
Not for all the fame in the world. You don't want it.
I think I've, as much as I complain about life, I think my life of mediocrity has been pretty enjoyable. Or at least my fascination with mediocrity.
I can't see you having a lot of money. I don't know what you would do.
Oh, man. No, I've already discussed this.
I don't know what you would do.
I've already discussed this, I thought about that, because Mega Millions came up, followed by the Powerball. No, it's just, what would I do? It's kind of like another patron saint of the podcast, the neon, what's his fucking name?
Neon Icon?
The Neon Icon. I love
Jody
that video.
High Roller?
Jordy High Roller.
Riff Raff, if you're not familiar with these names.
I love the video of him wearing like that jack-o'-lantern diamond grill, and his quote is, "I just want to blow up and act," or my main goal is to blow up and act like I don't know nobody. That's kind of what I would do. I would just disappear, Chewy. No one would fucking hear of me. I would just be living in, and I wouldn't even go far. I'd be living on the 7th floor of the Doubletree Hotel under a different name, Mr. Sherman. They don't know my first name. I pay in cash. I pay high amounts. I have my same toast and scrambled eggs delivered to me. They know that there's supposed to be a fresh robe out there for me.
You need money for this, though. You can do this right now.
I can't afford a hotel every fucking night, Chewy. The Doubletree in downtown Fresno is a little expensive. I can afford it the night of my sister's wedding, Chewy, but I cannot afford that hotel on a daily basis.
I don't know if they'll let you live there.
Oh, they'll let you live there.
Would you buy it?
There's a lot of places that do extended stays.
Do you think that place does?
At hotels? They're fucking Hilton.
Why
man.
wouldn't you just buy it?
Buy the whole hotel?
Yeah.
I mean, I could. No, I'd run that shit into the ground. You actually have to be involved in business decisions, and I mean, I could just let my millions supplement it, but I don't think I'd want it to be that. It would turn into real riff-raff, place for people to go, and I want people to actually, go about their days. I'd also make it a rule that I was the only person on extended stay past a week. Like, nobody could stay there past a week. Everybody else would have to fucking find a new place. Again, because, I would even maybe make it mandatory that employees couldn't work there more than 3 years, so I couldn't build a connection with anybody, and just pay them a good severance paid and have them transferred to another
This goes
Hilton.
back to the hoarder thing, because even though you have all this money, I just see your room being just filled.
No, I'd just be Howard Hughes, man. I would. Did you ever watch The Aviator?
No.
Howard Hughes, man.
What would you do all day?
He had all that money. He just grew his hair super long, grew his fingernails super long, had his maids pick up his piss bottles.
That is something that is not a stranger to Michael.
Michael's
been pissing in bottles for years.
It's a long story. Don't go into it. There's a long history with Michael and piss bottles.
I'd love to have just a separate podcast where we talk about just the old Michael.
Here's the thing, man. You start bringing up shit, I'm easily committable. You start adding things up, and you're like, nah, this guy is either a loose cannon, has multiple manifestos written, or no, he's a fucking deviant creep that's probably into voyeurism. And
ooh, speaking of voyeurism,
ooh, what?
Let's talk about this.
Why? I don't want to.
Oh, yeah,
it's a very creepy subject.
Oh, you want to talk about
this?
It's
the creepiest subject. That's why I don't want to talk about it.
Voyeur.
Yeah.
It's a documentary on Netflix.
Oh.
It just released.
Is it about the prevalence of voyeurism in hotels? Do you know that's a thing?
Well, let me get to this.
Okay.
This guy had a whole hotel that he owned that he retrofitted so that the vents weren't actual vents.
Yeah.
They were just holes for him to look down. Every room had a vent on the ceiling that he would look in all night.
Yeah.
That's all he would do. He had a wife.
Yeah.
I'm very aware of it. She would feel so bad for him being up there doing his research that she would bring him food a lot of the time. Like, oh, poor guy needs his peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Here's the thing, Chewy. Voyeurism, I think, is a complete vice. I mean, I don't think there's a vice stronger than voyeurism. I assume And I remember seeing a special talking about it and about this guy that was into technology. I mean, he was like a private detective.
Your biggest thing
is fear of people watching me all the time.
Your biggest
bit.
No, your biggest fantasy. I don't know if it's you or somebody else. It could be our other other best friend.
Sounds creepy. I don't know.
Could be our other guy that we don't talk to. Oh. They always wanted to just look up on a big tall building and see a girl going down on a guy giving him a beach, and that was their ultimate goal. They would look up specifically all the time. I'm pretty sure it was you.
Look, I'm gonna say I know what you're talking about. I'm not gonna confirm if it was the other friend or me, but I know for a fact. Because
it's voyeurism.
It is voyeurism, but that person was not very specific on the genders of the BJ. They just wanted to see something very obscene that they weren't supposed to see and be shocked in that moment. The moment of shock was all they were looking for. It could have been a fucking, Barney suit man going to town on a furry.
It's not voyeurism. Isn't the macabre? It's not just all the weird things that you see.
It's about living in someone else's skin for a moment.
Seeing somebody reading is voyeurism.
All of this is really creepy, and I don't really want to be talking about
this. So this guy, he reaches out to a reporter years ago. He's like, "Hey, I got a story for you." And the guy's like, "Yeah, what do you got?" I got this hotel, and I watch people. And he's like, "I'll be right there." So this journalism.
Is he locked up?
No. There's no way to prove any of this.
There's a lot of laws on it.
He couldn't
record this stuff?
He didn't record it.
Oh.
He wrote it down, which is you can't prove.
Oh, man.
He wrote it all down.
Could just be his fantasy.
Could be a fantasy. So he writes all this stuff down.
Unless they compare certain dates with certain things that people can...
And he did? None of it added up.
And none of the people could corroborate that?
Nope.
Really?
He has a story. They don't know.
Oh, man. This is interesting.
They don't know. So he tells this story about one night he's in full voyeur mode. He's looking, and his son died of an overdose. He hated drug users, so he saw that one of his guests was a drug dealer, and he would go. He'd hide the drugs in like a little another vent that was actually a functioning vent. He'd seal it up, then he'd take off for the day, and he'd come back. He'd take out his drugs, make a deal, and the guy's like, fuck that guy. So he went into the room, took the drugs, flushed them down the toilet, took off, went back to his room. The guy becomes irate.
Oh, yeah, he's going to blame the help.
He blamed his girlfriend, the only person who knew it was there. He starts blaming the girlfriend, saying that she stole it. And she's like, "Nah, I didn't steal your drugs." He's like, "Yes, you did." He starts strangling her. He kills her. She's dead. So the guy's like, "Wow, I might be like responsible for this death." And he doesn't do anything about it. He doesn't call the cops or anything. The cops show up because one of the maids finds a woman the next day, and he tells this story to the journalist, and the journalist is like, "Oh, fuck, this is a great story." Like, the journalist in the story is all about his career. He just wants to further his career. He just wants a great story. So he's like, yes. I need to go. And then he goes to the police and says, "I want to know about the murder that happened on this night." And they're like, "Nothing happened on that night." And they're like, "Are you sure?" And he's like, "No, there's no murders." And then he's like, "Well, what about anything that year? Did anything happen in a hotel?" They're like, "Yeah, something like that happened in a hotel miles away." Same story.
Yeah.
So he's like, "Did this guy just like read this story?"
Creative writing process.
Yeah, so he's like, "Did this guy just create this story and then pass it off as his own?"
Yeah.
He loses all respect for the guy.
Yeah,
he loses all
a million pieces of me all over again.
He loses all credibility. So this whole story is like, is this guy crazy? Did he really do this? To cherry on top, the hotel's not there anymore.
Okay.
They demolished it years before.
This guy obviously sounds like the million pieces of me guy. Did the guy dabble in drugs a little bit?
Nope.
Yeah.
The million pieces of me. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but did he have all the stories about waking up, in the opening, about waking up on the flight and, like, looking in the, airplane bathroom mirror with holes in his cheek and, like, not being able to explain how he was on the flight and all of that? No, none of that shit happened, and he ended up looking like an idiot. Sure, he dabbled with drugs, but he had.
I'm not gonna tell you how this
creative
one
process.
ends, but it ends in a way where you're like, "Fuck,
Mm-hmm.
this guy actually." I'll tell you, because he still had to watch it all to see it. It actually happened. You could actually put things together. Did the murder happen? Maybe not. Was the guy looking through?
Well, I'm sure he looked. Like I said, I think he probably dabbled, but didn't see that much interesting things. And most of the time, people aren't doing that much interesting things on their own.
I think everybody's a voyeur. That's the thing, though.
I mean, that's why we have reality TV.
Well, not just that, but like the biggest thing is, people always like to go places, and they always like to say, "Oh, I don't like this place." Well, why do you come? I love to people watch. Like people like that's voyeurism. You like going to the mall because you like voyeurism.
Well, that's not necessarily voyeurism, because I feel like an essential part of voyeurism is watching people in their most private moments, and that's what the creepiest thing is about it, is people brushing their teeth. That people that are getting off to like watching something so intimately.
I'll tell you a story then.
What's
about
that?
Somebody who's like very normal, but they were a voyeur. I don't know if Katie will be okay with this, but Katie's sister.
Oh man, you shouldn't drop names. You should just said a person.
No, fuck it, Katie's sister. So their yogurt shop in town, back in Sacramento when they lived, because they were going to school at Davis, there was a yogurt shop that decided that they were going to put a 24-hour live feed of the yogurt shop.
Ew,
they just decided that they would do that.
Why?
And you can log on to their website and watch the live feed at any time of the day. Katie says her sister would watch it for hours. This is a completely normal person from what I don't know her, honestly.
Yeah.
And she could be fucking weird for all I know.
Yeah.
But in person, when I see her, she's a completely normal person. And she's in grad school, all of this shit, right? But underneath it all, she loves watching people eat yogurt. That's voyeurism. So those people don't know that anybody's watching. I think they know, but it's in the back of your mind. Like, yeah, I know this yogurt place has a 24-hour feed, but who's actually really watching it?
Yeah.
Nobody's really watching this.
There is a performance artist, a guy of Muslim descent. This was the same guy that later installed a camera surgically into the back of his head that would take random pictures. And, a lot of the time it would just take a picture every like 5 seconds or something. And he put together like a large collage of it or not collage, fucking whatever, montage of it. And, sometimes it was just people's different reactions to seeing the camera installed into his head. And but an earlier project he had done was where he stayed in a room for 24 hours, and he had this paintball gun that had an insane amount of ammunition in there, and you could log into a website to see him, and it was pointed at him at all times. And with the press of a button, you could remotely activate that paintball gun to shoot him. And he was doing this for extended periods of time, and people were mostly shooting him when he was sleeping. That was when people decided this would be the best time to fuck with him, I guess. And it was almost a statement on how people are in nature, in that, in their voyeuristic thing, the when they feel like they can get away with something, it was part of the point that he was trying to make, was that's when they are going to try to attack him, is when he's most vulnerable and things like that. I don't know. It was interesting. I don't know, man. The whole subject is actually kind of creepy if you talk about it at length. And I don't know if I even want to talk about voyeurism anymore, man. This is going to creep a bunch of people out.
I feel like I don't think it will. I think it's something that everybody has a little bit of it inside of them.
I don't know. I'm going to put that down in a statement. When the cops come to me and they're like, Chewy has all these tapes of everybody and their toilets, I'm going to say, well, there's this podcast. It's season 2, episode 7. He says, and they're going to read the statement in court. And I think everybody has a little bit of this in them.
I'll go like this. You can't see me right now, but I'm like, am I wrong? And then even the people in the jury are going to be like, tell me a little bit more about that that guy getting shot with a paintball.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't like it.
Great documentary if you want to watch it.
What was it called again?
I think it's called The Voyeur.
The Voyeur. Available on
Netflix.
I think that's also something that we have to do. since I feel like, in a way, this is kind of an entertainment podcast, an advisory of different entertainment,
I love
things
telling
that you're
people.
not very aware of a lot of the time, or things that you're very aware of.
I love telling people what to watch because I have that problem. Yesterday, I was sitting on the couch and Katie wanted to watch something, and it's like, I have no idea. I hate having choices.
Yeah.
I don't like choices. I couldn't ever go into the record store. Like, you know how we would go to Rasputin?
Yeah.
I can't go in there.
Really?
Too much stuff for me. There's way too much stuff. I don't know what
Really?
to look at. Yeah, no, it's always been like that.
I was just at Rasputin the other day with one of my sketchy cousins. Well, he's not sketchy. He's a good guy.
Selling CDs?
Yeah, he was selling. Well, he sold some DVDs.
How much did you make off those?
And I said, hey, well, he made like $36.
Dang.
But I was like, hey, man, you ever bought the same DVD twice? He's like, yeah. And I said, so you've sold it at a lesser price and then went back later to buy it at a larger price? And he said, yeah. And I said, you know that you're losing money that way? And he's like, well, yeah, but they don't last forever. And I was like, then it finally started to make sense to me. He doesn't take care of them, so eventually they get scratches, and so they start skipping. So he's selling them stuff that doesn't work a lot of the time. And so that's partly what I guess makes sense for him to sell these back and then buy them later. But yeah.
So on Halloween, I decided to watch a scary movie. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to order some za, fucking watch a scary movie. And
za from where?
Well, here's the thing.
Ooh.
Every place was busy that night.
Oh, it's the most... Yeah. At my work, that was busier than Super Bowl, was Halloween.
I couldn't eat a pizza anywhere.
And I didn't realize that people had huge-ass parties with pizza.
You know where I had to get pizza from?
Ooh, where?
It's not that bad.
7-Eleven.
Domino's.
Oh, Domino's is actually underrated.
Pretty good.
As far as chains go, I'm going to say Domino's is actually pretty good. You know that there's one coming here in Sanger, right? They have the sign up.
Back
again for a third appearance in Sanger's
for
history.
Third try.
Yeah. Domino's is going to be right by McDonald's.
The Domino's has tried to come back. Pizza Hut's tried on numerous occasions to come back.
Well, when Little Caesars made its return, it's stuck. It's stuck.
Because the $5, you can't beat it.
Yeah. The Pizza Hut came I know of 2 times. I want to say 3 times.
Maybe.
Because I want to say on the location at Jensen when we were in high school, I think that was its second return.
I'm going to give a suggestion, not for watching something. I'm going to give a watching suggestion next. But I'm going to give a pizza suggestion.
What's that?
If you go to Domino's and you ask them for the thin crust with provolone, cheddar, and mozzarella with some fresh tomatoes on top.
Know, dude.
Oh, you don't, right?
I don't know.
Until you do it.
I don't know. Provolone and cheddar?
Yeah. It's kind of like me and Ed's. This has a cheese blend.
I mean, no. I know.
They have a 3 cheese blend.
Most of them have mozzarella and provolone as a blend, and I guess Me and Ed's does have cheddar too.
Yeah, it's yellow. Their pizza's yellow. If you're not familiar with Me and Ed's, it's a local pizzeria that has a blend of cheese that not everybody's fond
Little
of.
Caesars uses a blend of mozzarella, provolone, and I think München. I don't even know how to pronounce that kind of cheese. It's a very German-looking word. München.
Try that pizza though. So I was trying to order pizza. I was reduced to going to Pizza Hut's app. They shut it off for the night because they were just like, "Fuck this! I'm turning it off." They probably just pulled a cord or something. So I got Domino's. That's besides the point. I wanted to watch a scary movie. So I'm looking for scary movies, and I find one that's so ridiculous that's good.
What's that?
The Boy. You ever watch it?
Did you say The Void?
Boy.
Oh, The Boy? No, I haven't. I've seen the previews. It's on my list. I actually wanted to watch that before to review it for the Halloween stuff, but I never got around to it.
If you're still in the spooky spirit, because I've seen some people also, there's 3 kinds of people. Spooky season never dies.
Yeah.
November is November. You need to celebrate Thanksgiving. And November is the beginning of Christmas. For the spooky season never dies, people, here's a scary movie you should watch. It's called The Boy. It's a classic story that's been told over and over.
Yeah.
A lady goes to be the nanny of a boy in a rich house. And she's hired by rich parents. Problem, when she gets there, the boy that she has babysitting, she finds out that it's a doll. Lame. Yeah, I was fucking. I hated it at the right then. I was like, "This is."
So did you click onto it without watching the trailer?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
I just decided to watch it.
Okay.
I really don't ever try. I try not to watch trailers because trailers tell too much.
Especially a lot of horror movie trailers do give away.
They'll tell you the whole story.
Yeah. But I did watch the trailer for that one.
So I wasn't aware. So I'm like, okay, this is lame. But let's see where this goes. That's the story of my life. Like, okay, this sucks, but let's see where it goes. So
that should be the epitaph on your headstone.
Yeah,
this is lame. Let's see where it goes.
Let's see where it goes.
That's actually really good for a headstone. Like, I died. This is lame. Let's see.
So I was like, let's see where this goes. So let's see where this takes me. Let's go in this rabbit hole. So the girl's having to watch a doll that the parents are pretending that's real. They walk it around. The mom shows her the routine that she needs to follow every day. She says, if you don't follow this routine, that whatever his name is, the real British name,
yeah,
he won't be happy. And the lady's like, all right, whatever, you're whack. She's from America. The kid, she went to England for this. She's running away from some boyfriend problem, so she decided to go to England and make this money. Apparently she was making a shit ton of money to do this. So she's like, all right, well, I'll figure this out for a shit ton of money.
Job.
Right? So she decides to just put the doll on a chair and like, fuck this, I'm gonna go just like hang out and do my thing. And very soon after that, she realized that that's not gonna fly. All kinds of weird shit starts happening. Her shit starts disappearing, this and that. And she's like, whoa, what the fuck? And she decides, okay, I'm going to follow these rules. She follows the rules. Plot twist. It's a pretty good plot twist.
Oh, don't tell me that.
I can't tell you.
Okay.
Huge plot twist at the end there.
I'll check it out.
You got to check it out.
I do want to watch it.
And just so you know, I actually changed the name of Katie's cat. His name is Babu. Bazzy for short. I changed his name to Black Phillip based off The Witch.
Black Phillip's a good name.
His name's, to me, his only name is Black Phillip now.
I feel like I should change my sister's black cat's name. She never settled on a name. Her roommate wanted to name it T'Challa, and I said, that's racist to name it after the Black Panther character, because it's not the Black Panther that you're naming it after. You're naming it after the African man in the story called T'Challa.
I like to pick Black Phillip up and make him do things that cats don't do, like make him into like a little machine gun.
Oh yeah.
Or put him on top of things that he's not supposed to be on. So I put Black Phillip onto this table with a glass plate.
If you haven't watched The Witch, Black Phillip is the name of a black goat.
Who's also the devil.
Possibly
the devil. In the movie, I'm bringing this up because in the movie there's also a black goat's head that they always show the eye to, and the eye's always kind of like showing the reflection. Yeah, goat eyes, much like cat eyes.
My sister's godparents had a place with goats, and that was my favorite thing, was seeing Margot the goat. I still remember Margot and some of the other goats. They didn't actually keep them to kill. They actually just kept them around. And I always liked those goats, man.
I would love a bit like those miniature goats that stay small. Oh, I'd love one of those.
Guys were no, these guys were full size.
The little baby goats.
Yeah.
So Black Phillip, I put him on like this thing that he's not supposed to be on. He knocks all this shit over and he hates it. And I just go, oh, Black Phillip. And I loved it. It's a great name for a cat. He's evil, so that's why his name's Black Phillip. But yeah, so watch The Boy. Do you have any? Did you decide to watch any more scary movies that you can talk about?
I know I watched something on Halloween. I just can't remember what I watched. I feel like it was a disappointment. I started watching VHS 2.
What's that?
VHS. It's part of. Okay, it's a ridiculous movie. I heard so much hype about it. Kind of a voyeuristic thing, also in a sense. Okay, so the plot of VHS 2. It's this one guy, he seems to be like a private detective kind of guy, or he also blackmails people that are like cheating on their spouses, and then tries to, he gets videotape of them and then tries to extort them for money. But that's the intro thing that he's doing. And then he's going to another job with this girl, and they're going to this house because the mother reported that her son is missing or something like that. And he's just this college kid that has this house to himself. And they go in, they just sneak into the house, and this guy has this huge collection of VHS tapes, and he's doing some kind of research on his own, it seems. And they don't realize that he's in the house at first. Or I don't even know, because I stopped watching it. And, there's somebody in the house that they don't know is there. But they're going through these tapes, and it's just kind of like a random assortment of horror stories in one horror story. And I just couldn't get over the first one that was entirely stupid. Of the girl puts in a VHS tape, and it's this.
I like that premise though.
The premise seems promising, and when I heard about it, maybe I have to watch the whole movie. The premise seems promising, and when I saw it on all these lists of underrated horror movies or movies that break the genre in a sense, I thought, "Fuck, this would be great to watch for this list of movies that people don't watch regularly." But the first one was so stupid, I didn't really care to see the rest. And then I think Netflix it expired on Netflix like the next day or something, because it was off my watching list, and I tried to look it up and it was gone. But the first video was really dumb. It was this guy that I guess some accident happened to his eye, and he was getting this treatment where they put a digital camera type eye replacement, and so your perspective was from his eye the whole time. But it was really dumb, because why is this eye recording audio, and how was this stuff, like, how was this file that was recorded? They explained why it was recorded for, the trial basis, but how did this end up on a VHS tape? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
It's funny that you bring this up, VHS, because for the last 2 months or so, I've been throwing around this idea that I want to just film things on VHS for some reason.
Oh, I love it. I love doing it. I forgot to get a VHS tape.
For the wedding?
No. Long story.
VHS that's very like, it itself is ominous.
It is.
VHS itself, like when you put something in, it's kind of scary, even though if it's just a nice memory.
Well, that's the thing. That they should have made
They've demonized it so much.
No. They should have made this movie a period piece if they were going to have a collection of VHS tapes in the idea of the movie. Like, I mean, VHS tapes just doesn't make sense in this movie in today's modern world.
If you showed me a VHS videotape of a blank room,
oh yeah, man, that's scary.
That's scary. But if you do show me a digital one, it's just like, oh, that's surveillance cam, or it's just what's going to happen?
Yeah, no, VHS has that graininess.
But what I was thinking about, like
sounds and
VHS is, I really feel it would be very niche, and that's why I feel like it would work. If you started
have a VHS podcast.
No. If you had actually, there is a girl who is very famous on Instagram for collecting VHS tapes.
Well, yeah, no, I've seen a few like that.
She just finds like old.
Usually they're horror and sci-fi
exactly,
VHSs. Yeah. I've seen a few people with that same premise, and they tend to be tattooed girls that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they're copied each other. No, I've seen like 4 different girls with that same Instagram profile. And like thousands of followers.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I was thinking maybe like a VHS like ad agency, where they hire us for one video. They don't continuously use us. Obviously, they have their digital content too. But like a beer company's like, we want to shoot like a VHS commercial, and it's like, and we have like really good VHS shit, like top of the line at the time. Which I'm sure the top of the line at the time was very expensive. But we could probably get that super cheap now because it's dead format.
I think that's why it would be expensive.
No.
Yeah, because it's like Polaroid
like old stuff.
Film was expensive after Polaroid was gone.
But I don't think Polaroid film was ever like really cheap. I think it was always like film itself has always been expensive. It's always been. That's why when people had film cameras, they were like, "Don't waste the exposures," because one, it was expensive to buy. Two, it was expensive to develop. But I think we can get like some fancy fucking equipment. And just fucking have people pay us to do really like that was, mediocre shit on VHS tapes.
That was also my problem with that movie, the VHS 2, was that when they had, like the problems with VHS tape, that would occur, little cuts and things like that.
Yeah.
This was edited too well, and it was obviously
So it
shot on
wasn't-
digital
yeah,
cameras.
it wasn't edited. Yeah.
So it looked too good to be VHS, especially from someone who grew up with VHS.
Yeah.
You know how shit. I have watched a VHS in the past year. I watched Willow. I don't know if you remember Willow.
No.
Oh, it's a good movie. It's that little guy.
Oh, yeah.
And Val Kilmer. He's like a badass in the movie. Just a dude fighting trolls and stuff. And
So I worked for a soccer team, and they asked me, "Do you know how to edit movies? Do you know how to edit?" Because they needed something edited, and I was like, "Yeah, kind of." And they were like, "Could you do this?" And I was like, "No, probably not." And I'm thinking, man, if my fucking video editing class didn't have me editing fucking tapes on an Avio, I would be well equipped for this job. But in high school in 2007, I was literally uploading tapes to a very expensive system to then export it and cut it and fucking edit it when there was already fucking digital shit out.
That son of a bitch had all that equipment locked up. Had all of this expensive equipment. And you know what happened? I went to the fucking Fresno Fair, and I saw Raymond. I'm going to name blast this fuck. Raymond G Productions or whatever. And then I look at the actual equipment that he has there. It said property of Sanger High School. And I was like, you son of a bitch. You're getting all this grant money, buying all this nice equipment, not letting the fucking kids use it under the guise of defense of, well, the kids are going to break it or steal it.
Oh,
but using it for your own
time.
But using it for your own business.
He told us, if you don't return that camera, there's a chip in it. And the police have the GPS location.
And but he got that person to return it because that guy was an idiot and thought that was real.
That wasn't a thing back then. Back then, that would have been like, actually, it's not like that far-fetched, but the high school wouldn't have had it.
Yeah. Not on that equipment. It never was equipped with that. But yeah, fucking guy.
If you want us to start
like
filming
the sun
things
way
on
better.
VHS, let us know. We'd really like that. You looking at the time?
Well, I don't know. I was like thinking about it. Where did we go on this? Did we didn't really cover a lot of what was on this podcast list today.
No.
Did we even give a rundown of what was supposed to be on here, or was that one of the ones we deleted?
We deleted it.
This is our fourth incarnation of this podcast today.
One.
We deleted one.
That one
you
didn't
don't
count
the 7-minute one?
No.
Oh.
That happens a lot with us, though.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about that stuff, we can talk about that stuff.
No, I don't want to necessarily talk about
It's
that
election
stuff.
day. The number one thing that I wanted to talk about today was like
Daylight savings time.
not just that, but the fire Ted Cruz tweet that he had that he was the Zodiac killer.
That was a good tweet.
And I think it won him the election because it was projected that Ted Cruz has won already. His
Nah, I don't think that's what won in the election.
I
He was
think so,
already ahead
man.
in the polls.
Nah. Beto had Beyonce behind him.
No.
He had all this
I mean,
firepower.
he had some fire at the end, but he was
Ted
trailing.
had this
he was
tweet.
trailing the most of the election.
So if you're not familiar, meme culture has made Ted Cruz out to be. They said that Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer. They just said
During the 2016 election.
Yeah, if you
or
look
during
at
the primaries.
if you look at his picture and then you look at the sketch of the Zodiac killer from the 70s,
I never saw the
I don't think it was
connection.
ever supposed to be like
Actually,
real.
But if you looked at young Bernie Sanders and the sketch of the Zodiac, he actually looked more like the Zodiac
So they
killer.
debunked it because
I loved the idea that Ted Cruz was a Zodiac
Ted
killer.
Cruz was born in 1970.
Just the
first
story.
Zodiac killing was in 1968. So there's no way Ted Cruz was the Zodiac killer.
But there is a possibility with Bernie Sanders.
That would be really funny.
I would love it
I
if
would
I
love
found
it.
out
I would
that
vote
he
for
was
him.
the Zodiac killer.
Speaking of killers,
Yeah.
Nasty Steven sent us a DM
Yeah.
that he wants to hear us talk more about serial killers.
Now, this goes against what you say about, like, judging Rob Zombie, saying that, people that are into that type of shit are one step off of like whatever.
I don't like
crazy
serial
town.
killers.
But you like it as a subject topic to talk about?
I'm bringing it up right now because I saw that we went back and forth on it. So Nasty Steven says, you were talking about serial killers, and I was like, no, Mike doesn't like that shit. And then you were like, what about them? What about it? Would you like to
well,
speak
I
about
wanted
it?
to know. Well,
let's see if he's replied. Because he didn't reply.
Well, the only reason that I asked that was because...
So I have 3 text messages. I do not want to see what they say.
I feel like Zodiac. I feel like serial killers is a common trope in podcast series, and you could go to very specific podcasts for that.
Shout out to 559 Chris G for giving us his address for some stickers.
I'm just saying, like, I don't see, if we had a new take on it, like, maybe that'd be interesting. But what are we going to be doing that hasn't already been done about serial killers?
Having our flair.
I don't know if our
flair.
Nacho cheese joke vibe.
Oh, you don't think so?
It fits a serial killer mode.
You don't see the last podcast on the left? The cheesiest fucking nacho cheese vibe.
Those guys, no.
Those guys are number one on podcasts right now.
On podcasts, I don't want to. It's not like they'll ever listen to this.
People love that shit.
I know, but
they suck.
I did not like that.
I can't listen to one podcast.
No, and
I can't listen to one of them.
And they'll have 5 episodes on the same subject. Like,
I know.
Because I was trying to listen through one episode of the
Casey
Anthony story, and like they had 4 parts to that Casey Anthony story, each one an hour and a half long, and I can't imagine how they could talk. I mean, a lot of the time they weren't talking about the story; they would deviate a lot and then go back to the case, and I don't know how that's entertaining. I don't want to talk shit on people and how they do. Especially since
we deviate so far from what the actual topic is.
But we're not saying that the subject is going to be an in-depth 4-episode part on a specific subject.
I want to do a 4-episode part of Jingle All the Way. I think that's where we just we take it to the next level with this podcast.
Episode 3, The Turn.
No,
episode 4.
Episode 3.
Righteous.
Sinbad. We just talked about just Sinbad in that movie.
Nah, man. You see, what is Sinbad's career leading up to Jingle All the Way? How is that going to relate? Sinbad in the 80s.
Imagine we find some great groundbreaking shit where we find out where his career went wrong. He ends up listening to the podcast and he's like, fuck, they really figured it all out.
One of my favorite Sinbads is just his cameo on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Where he's in rehab with Dennis and Rob Thomas. Mm-hmm. I don't know where this is going anymore. I like it. I'm not digging this part of this podcast. I'm just saying.
Like I said, it's past an hour mark. If you're here, you're here. You're here for the long haul. The one person I can say that's here is John Fernandez. John Fernandez is always in for the long haul, partly because I feel like his Fridays just suck. And he just wants to do something.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the weekend, man.
Yeah.
Let
us help you get ready for the weekend here, John. I got nothing. I don't know what you can do.
No, I was hoping you were going to do a Ric Flair. Because when I think of John Fernandez, I think of Ric Flair woos.
Not Hulk Hogan. He dresses up like him on the regular.
Okay, but I've never seen him dress up like him.
Oh, I've seen it on numerous occasions.
I'm just saying, are these non-Halloween events?
Yeah, non-Halloween events.
I like it. I dig it.
100% non-Halloween events.
When I think of him, I hear him doing the Ric Flair. I can't. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not good at it. But it's easy to do. I just can't do it.
Okay, so let's map this out. I want the listeners to know what to expect for the November season. Are we going to do a November Thanksgiving podcast?
I mean, are we? I don't know. I feel like, I think last year we talked about favorite Thanksgiving foods.
Did we get kind of boozy?
Probably.
Maybe
but
we can bring back the booze, but not for review. We need to talk about that. Have you noticed that all shitty podcasts like to review beer like we tried to in the beginning? It's like a crutch.
Would you say that we were a shitty podcast in the beginning?
Hell yeah. I think we still are a shitty podcast. I think we're less shitty. I think our quality our quality of recordings is our saving grace of this podcast. The fact that we have the equipment to actually record it. is what helps us.
You're not gonna say anything about our vibes, man. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be something to our vibes with each other that people seem to like.
We got some good vibes.
I don't know.
Good vibrations.
I mean, that's all I see on the little comments that people write is about our disagreement, but flow together. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's just the recordings. I'll say it helps.
Definitely doesn't hurt. You want to end it, or you want to talk about one more thing?
I don't know. What do you got?
I don't know. I got nothing. Honestly, to be honest with you. I didn't come prepared for this one.
Neither did I. I was going to do my Andy Rooney thing. I've always imagined that in broadcast I would have an Andy Rooney type segment. Always.
You know what I want to do one day?
I'm just not that intelligent.
I want to start the
break
podcast
things down the way he does.
I want to everything that we talked about in the beginning of the podcast, we just don't record. And right here at the hour mark, that's when we start the real recording. Because that's what, to me, I've always said this.
I think our delivery is way too lazy right now. Like, I dig it.
I like it.
I think the people that stay long enough dig it. But I'm saying, I don't think...
it's honestly like a visit, you know? It's like somebody coming to visit you. In the beginning, you're kind of like, why are you here?
You got to let people...
I really want to take my pants off right now because I'm uncomfortable.
You got to lure people in with excitement in the beginning, and I think that's how we are in the beginning.
Now we're a little bit Howard Sterny, where we're just sitting on the couch.
Let me throw some money at you to do something really obscene. Oh man, talk about offensive characters. We need to get him off the air.
Howard Stern.
I've
never been a fan.
I've never been a fan. I like the ideology of him. I don't like him as a person, actually.
He's literally just a pervert voyeur.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, you're going to put that in your... Did you stick that in her pussy, or what'd you do?
You weren't a fan
How much did you stick that in her pussy? And
I just like
Robin's trying to get him to stop, and he keeps asking the same question over and over.
I just like to think that Johnny Ramone never died, and he was actually just Howard Stern at the end. Like, yeah, I mean, they look pretty similar. There's some similar backgrounds, and that's they wear the same sunglasses.
Yeah,
but you weren't a fan of Fart Man as a kid.
What?
You weren't a fan of Fart Man?
Never heard of it.
Okay, he was MTV fucking gold on the MTV award shows and stuff. They tried to give him a movie deal for this character he would do. He would dress up in a cape and like a muscle suit, and he was like Fart Man or something like that. And he would just like blast off from his farts. Like he'd be on ropes.
It sounds stupid.
It's terrible, but they were offering him money at one time to do this as a full on movie feature. And
you can see why MTV died.
Well, no, MTV died because they steered away from Fart Man and started doing other reality shows that just weren't music based or subculture based. MTV was very subculture when we were kids, and my older sister was the one that was watching it, but I would catch glimpses of it, and so I got to see MTV right at its prime before it started to falter. And I think as much as I actually like Carson Daly as a person, but I think TRL somewhat killed MTV somehow.
To me, that was
MTV. It like ushered in.
I didn't see the
before that.
I didn't see the before. I didn't see the.
Man, dude,
I never saw when Pauly Shore was on MTV.
Really? Okay.
I saw my era was the
Carson
TRL.
Daly,
TRL.
Yeah. Okay. At that point, MTV was starting to go down.
I loved Real World.
Real World ushered in all of that stuff, but I never was a fan of Real World, and I was never a fan of that kind of style of TV.
I was a voyeur, dude. I liked watching.
Yeah, I just every time I clicked onto Real World, everybody just seemed to be in a depressed mood, and it was just.
Well, it's a sad show, dude.
Was it? Yeah. It was, right? I never see. That's the thing. I never watched it.
You just put 5. You put whatever 10, 20 lonely. I was gonna say homely, lonely people in a room. And they fall in love with each other, and they're trying to fuck each other, and it doesn't work out because obviously it's not going to work out. They fucking all hate each other. 2 of the guys like the same girl. The girl doesn't want to be with either of them.
Man, I heard all of that. I heard all of that. It's all relatable at some point.
Whoa. That's too real.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Whoa. Once upon a time, I stole a girl right under Michael's nose.
That's not what happened.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of. A little bit.
We ended up not talking for a long time.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of that.
Because of that, but it certainly didn't help.
I think one day we should talk about what actually happened, because to this day, you and I went on an 8-month hiatus.
Yeah.
Maybe even longer.
I honestly don't, like, you say to this day, I don't know, but
I'm saying
that I care about.
We never really talked about anything. From that 8-month hiatus, we just was like, hey, leftover cracks coming to Fresno. It's like, yeah, you're going to go to that? Yeah, I'm going to go to that. You want to go? Yeah, I'll meet up with you. And that's when we started hanging out again. Like, there was a 8-month hiatus in between then that had nothing to do with that, because I was still hanging out with you after that.
There was also a time and place where Michael went missing. We'd like to talk about the time.
Oh, man.
I'd like to talk about that time.
See, I like that because it's a mystery, but it's not a really good mystery. Honestly, the mystery is always way better than the reality, I think. I think the possibilities of what I was doing for 2.5 weeks is so much greater than what it actually is, and I like to let the myth exist more than the reality of not much was actually happening. And I'm just saying, I think that's what my memoir book will be. It'll be called 2.5 Weeks.
And with that, goodbye.